I am 67 years old, and I am holding a birthday card that my daughter will never open. The edges are bent, slightly creased from being shoved back into my mailbox by a postal worker who doesn't know he's delivering grief. Return to sender. No forwarding address. That's what it says on the front now, stamped right over my handwriting, right over the place where I wrote her name so carefully, so perfectly, the way I did everything for her, perfectly. I'm sitting at my kitchen table right now, same table we ate at when she was small, same overhead light buzzing the way it always has. There's a drawer to my right, and if you could see inside it, you'd find 8 other cards just like this one. 9 years of birthday cards. 9 years of carefully chosen words written in my neatest handwriting, sealed with love, sent with hope, and returned with silence. I did everything right. I want you to understand that. I sacrificed everything. My career, my sleep, my marriage eventually. I was the perfect mother. I scheduled and structured and supervised every moment of that girl's life because I loved her more than I loved breathing. And my daughter hasn't spoken to me in 9 years. Not a phone call, not a text, not a single opened envelope. 9 years of nothing. That's what perfection earned me. That's what doing everything right got me. A kitchen that's too quiet, a drawer full of cards nobody's read, and the clock on the wall that won't stop ticking. Every second reminding me, you're running out of time, Margaret. You're running out of time, and she still doesn't want to hear from you. So let me tell you how a perfect mother ends up alone. When I was 32, my house was immaculate. I mean spotless. You could eat off every surface. Not that I would have allowed that outside the dining room. I had color-coded schedules on the refrigerator. Mondays were piano, Tuesdays were tutoring, Wednesdays were gymnastics. Every hour accounted for, every outcome anticipated. The house always smelled like Lysol and fresh laundry. Clean, controlled. I thought that smell meant safety. I thought it meant love. My daughter Emily, she had her own room decorated exactly the way I knew was best for a growing mind. Educational posters on the walls, books organized by reading level, a desk with sharpened pencils lined up like little soldiers. I picked out her clothes the night before school, every night, until she was 14. I checked her homework before she turned it in, and I rewrote the parts that weren't good enough. Not because I thought she was stupid, because I knew she could be better. I always knew she could be better. I remember her school essays. She'd write something honest, something raw, something real about how she felt. And I'd take my red pen and I'd fix it. Spelling, grammar, structure. I'd hand it back and say, now it's ready. I didn't see the look on her face when I did that. Or maybe I did see it, and I told myself it was just a phase. Kids are dramatic. She'll thank me later. She wrote in a journal, too. I found it once under her mattress. She was 15. I read every page, and when I found things in there I didn't approve of, thoughts about boys, complaints about me, dark little poems about feeling trapped, I sat her down and I corrected those thoughts the way I corrected her essays. I told her she was being ungrateful. I told her some children don't even have mothers. I told her everything I did was for her. She stopped writing in that journal. I thought I'd fixed the problem. She started wearing headphones at the dinner table, big ones, over her ears. The music turned up loud enough that I could hear it buzzing from across the room. I told her to take them off. She would, slowly, like she was peeling away her only protection. We'd sit there eating in a silence that I mistook for peace. For prom, I picked her dress. She wanted something simple, dark blue, something that looked like her. I chose a gown with beading and structure, elegant, appropriate. She wore it and smiled for the photos, and I thought, see, Mother knows best. I didn't notice that the smile stopped the second the camera flash ended. I look around this kitchen now, and it's the same room, same counters, same tile floor. But the refrigerator is bare. No schedules, no photos. There's a single expired coupon for laundry detergent stuck to the door with a magnet Emily made in 2nd grade. A little clay ladybug with one dot missing. The Lysol smell is gone. Now it just smells like coffee and nothing. Like a house where one person lives and waits. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me tell you about the night I lost her for good. Thanksgiving. She was 22. She'd moved out 8 months earlier into an apartment I hadn't seen because she didn't invite me. She had a new job doing something with graphic design, something creative that I didn't fully understand, and a boyfriend named Ryan, who I'd met once and immediately decided wasn't good enough. But she came home for Thanksgiving. She walked through that front door, and I remember the way the cold November air followed her in, mixing with the smell of roasted turkey and the cinnamon candles I had burning on the mantel. She looked different. Her hair was shorter than I liked. She was wearing a sweater that was too big for her. But she was here. She was home. And I thought that meant things were fine. We sat down at this very table, turkey, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, cranberry sauce from scratch, because the canned kind wasn't good enough. Never good enough. Everything had to be perfect. The table was set with the good china, cloth napkins folded into triangles. I'd spent 2 days cooking, and within 20 minutes I had ruined everything. It started small. I asked about her apartment, and when she described it, 1 bedroom, old radiator, a window that stuck, I told her it sounded like she was settling. I didn't say it mean. I said it the way I always said things, like I was helping. Then I asked about her job, and when she told me what she was earning, I made a sound. Just a small sound, a little exhale through my nose. But she heard it. Of course she heard it. Children hear every sound their mothers make. Every sigh, every tsk, every disappointed breath. They hear them all, and they catalog them and they carry them forever. Then I asked about Ryan, and I said something about how she might want to think long term, about where this relationship was really going, about whether he had ambition. I used that word, ambition, like it was the measure of a human being. The table went quiet. I could hear the clock ticking in the hallway, that same clock. I could hear the candles flickering, that faint, waxy whisper they make. I could hear forks touching plates, that thin, scraping sound of metal on china, and nothing else. No conversation, no laughter, just the sound of two people chewing in a dining room that smelled like a magazine cover and felt like a courtroom. Emily set down her fork. She placed her napkin beside her plate, not crumpled, folded, deliberate. And she looked at me with eyes so calm it terrified me. There was no anger in her face. Anger I could have handled. Anger I could have dismissed as dramatic, as a phase, as her being too sensitive. But this wasn't anger. This was a decision. She said, "Mom, you don't love me." And before I could say that's ridiculous, before I could launch into the list of everything I sacrificed, she continued, "You love the idea of who you wanted me to be. You have never once asked me what I want. You have never once listened to an answer you didn't already have planned. You don't want a daughter. You want a project. And I am done being your project." She stood up. She pushed her chair back, and it barely made a sound on the carpet. She picked up her coat from the back of the chair, and she put it on slowly, like she'd rehearsed this. And maybe she had. Maybe she'd rehearsed this for years, lying in that bedroom with the educational posters, wearing the clothes I chose, holding the red-penned essays, listening to me correct her thoughts. She walked to the front door, and here's the part that destroyed me. She didn't slam it. A slam I could have handled. A slam is emotion. A slam is passion. A slam means there's still something burning hot enough to fight about. She didn't slam the door. She closed it, gently, with a soft click, like she was putting something down she'd been carrying for a very long time and had simply decided to set it on the ground and walk away. That click. I hear it every single day. I heard it this morning. I'll hear it tonight when I try to sleep. It's louder than any scream. It's the sound of someone who isn't angry anymore, because they've moved past you entirely. I sat at this table with the turkey going cold and the gravy congealing on plates she didn't finish, and the cinnamon candles burning down to nothing, and I told myself she'd call tomorrow. She was emotional. She'd calm down. She'd realize everything I did was out of love. She didn't call tomorrow. She didn't call the next day. She changed her number within the month. And every year since then, I have written her a birthday card. The first one I gave advice, because that's what I knew how to do. I told her I hoped she was making good choices. I told her to dress warmly. I told her I loved her, but even my love came with instructions attached. It came back unopened. The second year, I tried to explain myself. 3 pages crammed into a card about how everything I did was because I cared, because my mother hadn't cared at all, because I was trying to give her what I never had. I thought context would fix it. I thought if she understood my reasons, she'd forgive the results. Returned, sealed shut. By the 4th year, my handwriting was getting shakier, not just from age, from something heavier than age. The cards stopped being about explaining and started being about apologizing. I'm sorry. I see it now. Please, just a phone call. 5 minutes. 1 minute. Anything. Returned. By year 7, the cards were barely legible. 2 sentences. I miss you. I was wrong. That's all I could manage, because what else is there to say when you've spent a lifetime using words as tools of control, and then you realize words are the last thing she wants from you. 9 cards in that drawer now. I open it every morning, not to reread them, just to see them, just to count them. It's a ritual. Some people pray in the morning. I open a drawer full of failure, and I sit with it. This house echoes now. I hear things that aren't there. A child laughing in the hallway. The screen door banging shut the way it used to when Emily ran out to play. The piano, badly played, beautifully played, played the way a child plays when no one's grading them. But I was always grading her. That was my sin. I turned her entire childhood into a performance review. I go to church on Sundays. I buy groceries for one. I water the plants on the porch, and they bloom every spring, and nobody sees them but me. Flowers blooming for an audience of no one. That newest card, the 9th one, it's sitting on the counter right now, propped against a photograph of Emily at 6 years old, grinning with 2 teeth missing. She's holding a butterfly she caught in the backyard, holding it so gently. She was always gentle. I was the one who wasn't. So now I'm going to talk to you, not about me, about you. You, the one watching this right now who recognized something in my story. The one whose chest got tight 2 minutes ago. The one who's already composing a defense in your head about how your situation is different, how your child really does need correcting, how you're not controlling, you're just involved. Stop it. Stop lying to yourself. I lied to myself for 40 years, and it cost me my daughter. You think you're protecting them? You're imprisoning them. You think correcting them is the same as caring about them? All you're teaching them is that who they are is never enough. That every room they walk into, they will be measured. That love is conditional, based on performance, revocable at any time. You are not shaping them. You are breaking them, and they will leave. Maybe not today, maybe not with a speech at the Thanksgiving table, but slowly, quietly, the way Emily left, with a click, not a slam. And by the time you hear that click, it is too late. Put down the red pen. Stop editing their lives. Stop rewriting their choices. Ask them a question you don't already have the answer to. And when they answer, close your mouth and listen. Actually listen. Not the kind of listening where you're waiting for them to finish so you can correct them. The kind where you let their words change you. Tell them they're enough. Not when they perform, not when they achieve. Right now, as they are. In the oversized sweater, with the job you don't understand, with the boyfriend you haven't approved. Tell them they're enough. Because this is what perfect gets you. Silence. A drawer full of cards nobody read. A clock that won't stop ticking. And a daughter who decided, calmly, quietly, and permanently, that life without her mother was the healthier choice. Don't wait until you're 67, sitting alone at a kitchen table, talking to strangers on the internet because your own child won't take your call. Go. Right now. Not tomorrow. Now. Before the door clicks shut.